Hey there. Welcome back to Very Good Yoga with Billy. My name is Billy. And for today's class, all you're going to need is 2 blocks and probably a strap for a bind. What I want to do today with you folks is a lot of twisting, a lot of balancing, and eventually going into a variation that's a little bit of Birds of Paradise, but it's also a little bit of a revolved half moon. We're going to get started in a Tadasana at the top of the mat. And just for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to face you folks to start. And what I want you guys to do at home is goalpost your arms. Not in the way that like a lot of yoga teachers cue it, but actually create like this double 90-degree bend in your arms. And really try to emphasize the elbows staying in line with the shoulders. So your hands and your forearms are more or less perpendicular here, pointing straight up into your ceiling. And what I'm going to ask you to do is imagine that you're standing in front of a giant whiteboard. And keeping your arms in this goalpost shape, imagine that you're grabbing onto a set of markers and keeping the position of your elbows. Start to turn your hands and your forearms in towards the body as if you were drawing a circle on that whiteboard. And then keeping your elbows in that same position, begin to reach your imaginary markers to the floor. Keep the elbows where they are, reach your arms out, and eventually come back up into that initial starting position. And we'll start to move through that on our own. So right away, reach your arms in, down, out, and eventually up. So yeah, that's a pretty slow movement. And you shouldn't be going that fast. And I want you to continue to check in with like the position of your elbows and your biceps and just make sure they're lifted and where they're supposed to be. See if you can take maybe 2, maybe even 3 full rounds more. And once we've gotten a few going in this direction, once you've completed your circle and made your way back up to the top, go the other way. So you reach your arms out, keep your elbows lifted, draw those imaginary circles coming in, and eventually back up into your starting point. And just go at your own pace. So the pose that I want to get you folks in actually requires like a good amount of shoulder mobility. So we're starting to wake up some of those smaller muscles so we can get into a really good position. Finish up whatever round you're working on. And eventually reach your arms out left and right to a T. I'm going to ask that you externally rotate at your right shoulder. So what that's going to look and feel like is the right palm is going to turn up and back. And then can you internally rotate at the left shoulder? Turn your palm down and up. And then switch. You're going to internally rotate at the right arm so the palm goes down and back. And then you're going to externally rotate the left arm so the palm goes up and forwards. And then switch, and then switch. And then I think my cat's about to jump up right in front of the camera. Yep, there she is. Starting to sweat. I'm starting to build that heat. Yep. On your next inhale, reach the arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, bow forward. Inhale to a flat back. And then exhale, fold. I actually forgot. I want to do one more thing with you guys here from this position. Bring your heels out wide. Bring your feet out wide. Turn your heels in, turn your toes out, and come into a Malasana Yogi squat. And if you need the modification, you're more than welcome to sit on a block. Press your elbows into the inner thighs and try to feel and create that upright chest. Full breath in. To a forward fold on your exhale. Straighten out your legs, then fix your feet either together or about hips width distance apart. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step your left foot to the back of the mat. Plant your palms, and without doing anything funny with your butt, pull the right knee into the belly. And step back into a plank pose. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Untuck your toes and reach your arms back. Setting up for a Shalabhasana, lift your knees, your shoulders, your feet, and eventually your hands. So the big toes stay together to touch, and the inner thighs are rolling up into the ceiling. Your arms lift so they're up in line with the shoulders, and then your shoulders lift so that they're higher than your hips. One more inhale to lengthen. And as you exhale, lower, bring your hands by your shoulders. Tuck your toes, and on your next inhale, move through a tuck toe child's pose, sink your hips to your heels. And then make your way back into a downward facing dog, lift the hips up high. And take a moment to land in this downward facing dog. Notice that shift that happens as we go from our first belly back bend. This is more inverted shape. Full breath in. And on empty, look forward, bend into the knees, hop, step, forward, fold to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, come up to stand, reach the arms up high. See your palms touch and come into a Tadasana with your hands by your hips. Listen carefully. Inhale, reaches the arms up. Exhale, open your twist to the right. Reach your right arm back, your left arm forwards. Inhale, right arm down, right arm forward, both arms up. Exhale, cactus your arms. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and find an interlace at your lower back. Press your feet into the floor. Reach your knuckles to the ground. Inhale the heart and the chest up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, humble your fold. So the belly is on the thighs. Your gaze is somewhere at the back of the mat. And don't worry about going so much forward with your knuckles. Think more up into the ceiling. One more inhale. And then without slingshotting the hands, bring them onto the floor. Exhale. Inhale, flat back. And on an out breath, step the right foot back into a runner's lunge. Plant your palms. Pull the left knee into the belly. Hold this shape for just an extra moment before you step back into your plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, lower to the floor. Untuck your toes. Reach your arms back and come up into your Shalabhasana. Lift your knees, your shoulders, your feet, and your hands. Find the length where your toe tips and your fingertips reach back. And then go forward with your chest and your ears. The neck is soft, the gaze is slightly down over the tip of the nose. One more inhale. And on your exhale, lower, bring your hands by your shoulders. Tuck your toes. This time on an inhale, move through tabletop. And on your exhale, downward facing dog, send the hips up high. Full breath in. Not empty, look forward, bend into the knees, hop, step, handstand, or fly to a forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Press your feet down. Inhale to come up, stand. Tadasana with the arms by your sides. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, open your twist to the left. Left arm back, right arm is forwards. Inhale, left arm down, left arm forward, both arms high. And on an out breath, cactus the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Find an interlace at the lower back with the opposite thumb on top, so your grip should feel a little weird. Reach your knuckles low, lift the heart and chest up. Inhale. Keep the interlace, hinge at your hips, bow forward as you exhale. And then bend into the knees so that the belly can touch the thighs. Even if you can't get the belly on the thighs with straight legs, it's a lot easier on the lower back when you bend into the knees. One more breath. And then without slingshotting the arms, put the hands on the ground. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step the left foot back. runner's lunge into a chaturanga lower halfway. Inhale, come up into a back bend, this time upward facing dog with the thighs lifted. And then use your belly to send the hips up high into your downward facing dog. Lift that same right leg up into a three-legged dog, please. Flex to the foot, turn out the toes on your next inhale. Bend the knee to open up your hip. So the left hip hugs in, the left heel reaches down, but at the same time, can you lift the left thigh bone up into its socket? Straighten out the right leg, square off your hips, full breath in. Knee in between the elbows. Step your right foot forward to your right thumb. And meet me in a forward fold at the top of your space. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to stand. Reach the arms up high. See your palms touch. And this time, fold right back down into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step the right foot back, runner's lunge. Inhales, lengthen. Chaturanga, lower halfway. Inhale, find your back bend, upward facing dog. And as you exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts high, three-legged dog. Flex the foot, turn out the toes, bend the knee to open up your hip, but keep hugging the right hip in towards the body. Keep reaching the right heel down, but lift the standing thigh bone up. Straighten out the left leg, square off your hips, full breath in. Knee in between the elbows. Step your left foot forward to your left thumb, runner's lunge. Inhales, lengthen to a forward fold. Step your back foot up to meet your front foot. Inhale, flat back. Exhale is fold. Inhale, come into chair pose, bend into the knees, lift the heart and the chest up high. Look forwards, bring your hands to prayer at the heart and twist to the right. Connect the left elbow outside of the right thigh. The heart and the chest is reaching forward and your tailbone is lengthening towards the back of the room. Some of you folks might stay here, but if you want to open up your arms, option to put your left hand on the floor and lift the right arm up into the ceiling. And for some of you guys to make that hand to floor connection work, you might just need to bend into your knees more. Maybe you just need to put a block underneath your hands. Inhale, chair pose, come back through center. To a forward fold is your exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step only your left foot back and pause. Setting up for a warrior one from the ground up. Ground your back left heel down and make sure there's a little bit of space between your 2 feet on the floor. You could probably bend into the front knee more so that the shin is perpendicular with the floor. Look forwards and put your hands out at 10 and 2. On your next inhale, warrior one, come up to stand. Chaturanga is the out breath, lower halfway. Inhale, come up into a back bend, upward facing dog. And on your exhale, downward facing dog. Please just step your left foot forward and come up into a warrior one. One breath, rise. One breath, lower. Inhale, find your back bend, upward facing dog. And on an out breath, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up into a 3-legged dog and hold the pose. So the palms are pressing the floor away. The sides of the waist are lifting up and back, but simultaneously try to draw the hips forward. One more inhale. Knee in between the elbows. Step your right foot forward to your right thumb and just take it to a forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, bend into the knees, lift the heart and the chest up. Look forwards, hands to prayer at your heart, twist to the left. Connect the right elbow outside of the left thigh. Feed the heart forward, reach your tailbone back. And if you did this before, option to open up the arms. So the right hand might land on the floor or a block. You might even just bend your knees more. Inhale, chair pose. Come back through center. Forward fold is your out breath. Inhale, flat back. And on your exhale, please step your right foot back and pause. So ground your back right heel down. So your feet are essentially in warrior one. Wrap the left hip underneath you, bend the left knee more, and if you haven't already, please put your hands out at 10 and 2. Warrior one, inhale, come up to stand. Chaturanga as your exhale, lower halfway. Inhale to come up into a back bend, upward facing dog. And on your out breath, take it into your downward facing dog. One breath, one movement. Step your right foot forward and ground your left heel down to come up warrior one. Inhale. Chaturanga is the exhale. And when you cannot exhale any amount more, inhale to a back bend, upward facing dog. Use your belly and take it to a downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Hold here. Palms press down. So you're pressing the floor away. And then as your left heel goes back, draw the thigh bone forwards. Inhale to lengthen. Knee in between the elbows. Step your left foot through to your left thumb. And just take it to a forward fold at the very top of your space. Inhale, flat back. And on your exhale, fold. Take your two peace fingers and toe lock your big toes for yoga toe lock, please. Press your thumbs on the yoga mat right in front of your big toes as you inhale, flat back. And on your exhale, fold. Draw the shoulders down the backs away from your ears. Press your feet into the floor, lift the thigh bones up. For 3, 2. Unlock the big toes on 1. Inhale, flat back. Padahastasana. Slide your hands underneath your feet so that your toe tips make their way up into the wrist creases. And your right middle finger, or really both your middle fingers, are making it to the front edges of your heels. For 3, for 2. Take the hands out from underneath your feet on 1. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank. Chaturanga, Vinyasa. However you'd like to get there, make your way into downward facing dog. All right. Step your right foot forward and come into a runner's lunge, please. And what I'm going to have you do when you get here is, and I'm actually going to turn around for a second just so you can see what I'm doing. Put both your hands inside the front right foot. So your feet are still in that runner's lunge shape. The only difference is the right hand is inside of the right foot. Flip your palm so that your fingertips point back and the heel of the hand lines up with the heel of your foot. Put your left hand on your sacrum and begin to look forward with your eyes. To come into this twist, imagine that you're tracing a line up the front wall that eventually intersects with the ceiling and then is directly above you overhead. Maybe keep the left hand on the sacrum, but if you want a little bit more, reach the left arm straight up into the ceiling. So the right butt goes to the right and your left butt goes to the left. On your next inhale, swing the top left arm forwards. Exhale, runner's lunge into a 3-legged dog. Lift the right leg up high and take a full breath in. Exhale, right knee taps right shoulder. 3-legged dog, take an inhale. And on your exhale, twist right knee, left elbow. 3-legged dog, stay for the in-breath. And as you exhale, step your right foot forward to your right thumb and meet me up in your high crescent lunge. Reach both arms up into the ceiling. Hold the pose and grab your left wrist with your right hand. We're going to make our way into a side body bend, and I want you to use the right arm to begin to pull the left hand at a diagonal to the top right corner of your room. So you should feel some rounding happening in your torso, like the sensation of the belly pulling in, so that your chest almost begins to hover over the front right leg. Take an inhale to lengthen, and then find a prayer twist on the out breath. Left elbow connects outside of the right thigh, and the heart and the chest is feeding forwards. Take a few breaths here. Straighten out your back left leg more, but continue to lift and reach the tips of the ears forward. Now, some of you might go fast, some of you might go slow, but we're going to step the back foot up into a twisting chair with the left foot next to the right foot. We're going to keep the elbow glued outside of the thigh and pluck that poor right foot off the floor. Utthita C, press your left foot down, come up to stand and reach the right arm back. The left foot presses into the floor, so that the left standing thigh bone can lift up into the socket. Stay light through your grip in your left hand, and continue to turn your left rib cage towards the inner right leg. On your next inhale, reach your right arm down, right arm forward, both arms up, Utthita A, into a figure four chair. Right shin on top of the left thigh. Hands start at a prayer position at your heart. And if you want a little bit more, maybe you fold and put your hands on the floor. So the right foot flexes as much as the right foot will flex. And we do that so we can protect the knee. The left hip hugs in, and even if you're folding, can you try to find some element of a back bend, of an up dog, or even a flat back with your chest, even if you're folding? Okay. Keep your left foot on the floor. If you took a fold, beginning to come out of it, upright your torso, right knee into the belly, both arms lift up, inhale. Right foot steps down, Urdhva Hastasana into a forward fold is your exhale. Inhale, flat back. And on an exhale, plank to Chaturanga, Vinyasa. Take it to downward facing dog, however you'd like. Obviously, we've done a lot of push-ups today so far. So if you ever want to skip push-ups, feel free to skip as many or as few as you need to. And then step your left foot forward and come to a runner's lunge. Again, I don't want you to change anything about the feet. Just put the left hand inside of the left foot. I think I forgot to say this on the last side, but if you're having a hard time keeping the left hand on the ground, put a block underneath it. Flip your grip so the heel of the left hand is in line with the left foot, and your fingertips point straight back. Put your right hand on your sacrum, look forward with your eyes, and I want you to find that imaginary line. Trace it up the front wall with your drishti, eventually bringing the gaze directly overhead. You can keep the hand on the sacrum. You could reach it straight up into the ceiling. But try to keep your hips neutral here. Right butt to the right, left butt to the left. Inhale the top arm forwards. Runner's lunge into a three-legged dog. Lift the left leg up and back and take a full breath in. Exhale, left knee, left shoulder. Three-legged dog is the in-breath. And as you exhale, twist, left knee, right elbow. Three-legged dog, full breath in. Exhale, in between the elbows. Step your left foot forward to your left thumb. And take it to a high crescent lunge. Reach both arms up into the air. Again, we're going to hold this lunge. As we bring the left hand to the right wrist, go for the side body bend to the left side of the room. So the belly is pulling in. The right arm and inevitably the torso goes at a diagonal. So your chest almost hovers over the front leg. One more inhale. Prayer twist to the left as your exhale. Connect the right elbow outside of the left thigh. I always think it kind of helps to pull the belly in to get a deeper twist. And if you're looking for something to do with the eyes, maybe look forward, maybe you look up, or if you need to do less with the neck, look down. This transition might be fast, it might be slow. But step up into a twisting chair with the right foot next to the left foot. The elbow will stay connected outside of the thigh as you pluck the left foot off the floor. Press the right foot down, come up to stand, and meet me in Utthita C. So the left arm reaches back. And notice if you're death gripping with that right hand on the left leg. Be easy in your grip. That way the left leg can actually do some of the work here. Reach your left arm down. Reach your left arm forward. Reach both arms up. And come into a figure four chair. Left shin on top of the right thigh. Tailbone goes back. Heart and the chest go forward. And again, some of you might stay here, or if you folded on the first side, if that was a good time before, go ahead and find the fold here. And even if you're folding, I still want you to stay active in the upper body. So the shoulders are away from the ears, the crown of the head is forward, and you're lifting out of the belly. Regardless of whether or not you folded, begin to upright your torso, left knee into the belly, both arms reach up, inhale. Step your left foot onto the floor and take it into a forward fold, exhale. Inhale, flat back. And as you exhale, plank to chaturanga, vinyasa. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Child's pose. Lower your knees either together or hips width distance apart. Take rest. Beginning to bring some softness back into the breath. If you're in child's pose, you're breathing into the back body. Maybe even roll the forehead, the third eye center out onto the mat. I'll breathe here for another 5, 4, for 3, 2. Begin to flutter your eyes open. And we'll make our way back to downward facing dog on 1. Plant your palms, tug your toes, and lift your hips up and back. So, as always, building on these sequences and these ideas that we're doing today. Step your right foot forward. Keep your hands on the ground, but bring your feet back into warrior 1. So again, a little bit of space in between the feet in this warrior 1 today. If you had a block before, you might want to grab it again here. As you flip your wrist, bring the heel of the hand in line with the heel of the foot and the fingertips to point straight back. Put your left hand on your sacrum, look forward with your eyes, and begin to trace that imaginary line up the front wall, eventually into your ceiling, and eventually directly above you. So just like we did earlier today, same kind of twist, just with warrior 1 feet. And if you want a little bit more, reach the left arm up into the ceiling. So you're opening across the chest. Meanwhile, you're trying to keep your hips level. So right butt right, left butt left. Inhale the left arm forwards. Runner's lunge. Plant your palms and bring the right knee into the belly. Three-legged plank, take a full breath in. And on your exhale, right knee, right shoulder. Three-legged plank, take an inhale. And on your exhale, twist right knee to the left elbow. Three-legged plank, inhale, and then either stay for the exhale or take a three-legged push-up. Lower down, come back up. Step your right foot forwards and come into a pyramid pose, please. Shorten your stance, ground down to the back left foot. And if the ground is too far away, grab blocks and put them underneath your hands. What I would recommend here is bring your blocks up to the highest height. And then walk them forward so there's almost that shape of downward facing dog in the upper body and the arms. Could you keep the belly on the right thigh? And even though this is a fold, do the work of up dog and flat back, pressing the back body forwards into the front body. Inhales, lengthen. Exhales, fold. Runner's lunge. Rebend into the front right knee. Put the right hand on top of the right thigh. And meet me in a prayer twist facing the right side of your space. So obviously we have done a whole lot of twisting today. So that being said, you might stay right here. If you want to try out that variation of that twisted birds of paradise I was talking about at the very beginning of class, begin to find a half bind with the left arm underneath the front right leg. For me, I always put my hand on my thigh so I can get my armpit closer to the outside of my leg. You'll reach the left arm under the front right leg. You'll reach the right arm up, over the lower back, eventually holding hands with yourself around the inner left hip. And maybe the bind is something you're working on. Maybe this is new. But if you want that peak pose, stay in the twist, keep the bind, and step your back foot up to meet your front foot. And it might be one big step, it might be several small ones. It's the left foot that presses down as you make your way up to stand. Coming into this twisting birds of paradise. It might take you a long time to get there. Once you're up, try to take about 5 to 8 rounds of breath. And then, when you're ready, with control, we'll all meet in a forward fold. And it's okay if you lose the bind as you go down. It's actually really a hard transition to do. When you're ready to move on, inhale, flat back. And as you exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog. Whether you take a vinyasa or you skip it. Last side, step your left foot forward and ground your back right heel down. Grab your block if you've had it before. Flip the grip, put the palm inside of the front left foot, and turn your fingers towards the back of the room. Your right hand finds your sacrum. Your eyes look forwards. Your eyes look up, eventually going directly above you. Left butt left, right butt right. Heart and chest goes forward, and this was good for you before. Reach the right arm up into the ceiling. Breathe. Notice if you're holding the breath here. Inhale the top arm forwards. Exhale, runner's lunge, frame the front left foot, flip up the back right heel. And without doing anything too fancy, pull the left knee into the belly and send it into a three-legged plank pose. Inhale. Left knee, left shoulder is your exhale. Three-legged plank, take a full breath in. Exhale, twist, left knee, right elbow. Three-legged plank is your inhale, and then either stay here or take a three-legged push-up. Step your left foot forwards. Shorten your stance, ground your back right heel down, and find legs that look like pyramid pose. If you can't keep your back heel down, go shorter. And then see if you can use your back right foot to straighten out the front left leg more. If you did this before, grab your blocks, bring them up to the highest height, and begin to walk your hands forward. So there's more downward facing dog. There's more length happening in your chest. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Runner's lunge. We bend into the front left knee. Put your left hand on top of your left thigh. And connect the right elbow outside of the leg, coming into your prayer twist. So your palms are together, the crown of the head is reaching forward. And if you're going for the bind, you start with the left hand outside of the left leg and the right arm going up and underneath the thigh first. So you set up the right arm first. And then if you want the full thing, it's the left arm that goes up and over. You could stay here with the bind. Or if you want that variation of birds of paradise, begin to shorten your stance and step your back foot up to meet your front foot. Could you press your right foot down? And eventually come up to stand. So it's a lot about what you're doing on the floor with your standing foot. It's a lot of hamstring, quad strength, and hip mobility. And after about 5 to 8 rounds of breath, make your way back to the ground. Forward fold is where we'll meet. Inhale, flat back. And on your exhale, chaturanga, vinyasa. One last time, we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Oh, good, lots of time. Lower your knees and stand up on your shins. Reach the arms up and overhead, and then we'll set up for a couple camel poses. Press the feet and the shins down, and without squeezing your glutes, press the butt forward. Inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, cactus your arms, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and put your hands in the lower back for support. Hug the elbows in, press the bottoms of the shoulder blades up and forwards into your chest. And some of you guys might stay here, but if you want a little bit more, maybe your hands walk down to your butt, your hamstrings, and if they're there, grab on for your heels. Inhale, stand up on your shins. On an exhale, sit on your heels, close your eyes, and lower your chin to your chest. Do that again. Stand up on your shins. Reach the arms up and overhead. Lift the ribs off the lower back. Inhale to lengthen. And as you exhale, cactus your arms, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and put the hands in the lower back for support. Maybe this is where you stay, but if you want to go further, walk your hands towards your heels. It's almost like there's a strap wrapped around your upper arms. You're trying to pull it apart. So I don't really care, and I'm not too interested with like how far down you go with your hands, but I want you to feel for this lift going on in your chest and your ribs. On an inhale, stand up on your shins. On an exhale, sit down on your heels, close your eyes, and lower your chin towards your chest. Just breathe. Okay. So as you start to flutter your eyes open, I'm going to have you just side sit either side of your mat so you can swing the legs out in front of you. Bend into your knees, step your feet onto the floor, and lie down. We'll take one more back bend. I'll walk you through a bridge, and then if you want wheel, I'll take you through a wheel. So, if you haven't already, walk your feet in towards the body. And as you inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lift the hips. If you're staying with bridge pose, snuggle the shoulders underneath you. If you're going for wheel pose, bring your hands out wide to frame your face. Come up onto the crown of your head. And eventually straighten out your arms. So either way, either back bend, your knees are going forwards. Your heart and chest are going up. And you're emphasizing this really nice inhale and exhale. Smooth and steady in and out of the nose. And on your 8th exhale, make your way back to the floor. Step out your feet out wide and knock your knees together to touch, and just close your eyes. I know I just did this. I was talking about the breath, like a nice inhale and exhale. And for me, I feel like the word nice is one of those like buzzwords that yoga teachers have a tendency to overuse sometimes. Like if you're describing a stretch or a pose and you're calling it nice, like it might not be nice for everyone. But when you bring your awareness into the breath, I think we have a little bit more control over that. So when we find ourselves in deeper shapes and we're either holding the breath or, it's all over the place, see if you can create something a little softer, a little smoother, something nice. And then hug your knees into the belly. Take a few rocks up and down the length of your spine. And we're actually going to be in a pigeon pose with the right leg forward first. Bring the right knee outside of the right wrist and the right foot in front of the left hip bone. There's another hip opener you want to take today, folks, and by all means, find whatever hip opener you want to find. But then walk your hands forward and fold. Unless you're staying upright intentionally. So this is a downward facing pigeon. Your left butt goes to the left, your right butt goes to the right. Maybe if it's appropriate, you tuck your back left toes. And you use your left foot to scoot the left leg and hip back a little bit more. So you can get your hips down to the floor and you get more of an opening really in both hips. Take a few more rounds of breath. One more inhale. And as you exhale, come up onto your hands. And to come into the second side, please roll onto your right hip. Swing your left leg around and forward, and then swing your right leg behind you to come into your pigeon pose on the second side. Do what you gotta do. I mean, I don't think, and honestly, seriously doubt, anyone's just gonna land perfectly in that shape. So fidget a little bit, get your legs, your hips, your foot, everything in the right place. And then if you want to fold, downward facing pigeon, walk your hands forward. And the goal and the hope here is to try to get 10 like really good deep belly breaths. Your left butt goes to the left, your right butt goes to the right. And if you did this before, tuck your back toes and begin to scoot your back right leg back so the hips get closer to the floor. I don't know about you guys, but I know for me, like I think when people think pigeon, like obviously I think the front leg is what works the most. But whenever I do that work with the back leg where I scoot it back, that's when I really feel I start to get my front right hip flexor more involved. Last few rounds. Full breath in. As you exhale, come up onto your hands. Sit down on your left hip, swing the back right leg around and forwards. And then lie down on your back. We'll finish with a happy baby. Grab onto the feet, maybe the shins. Roll your lower back and your tailbone around on the floor. So make this make this like a dynamic happy baby. Eventually make your way into Shavasana. And of course, if there's anything I have not offered you folks here today that your practice is not complete without, take these last few moments of class for yourself. Maybe put blocks underneath the knees. Maybe you can cover the eyes. And if you have time to rest, settle down into your stillness. One more inhale. Open up the mouth. Exhale is release. No more work. No more effort. Shavasana. to deepen the breath. Start to invite some smaller movements back into the body. The fingers, wiggle the toes, the hands, and eventually the feet. Slowly bend into your knees, step your feet onto the floor. Reach the right arm overhead so the bicep is alongside your ear. And then using that arm as a pillow, please roll off to the right into a fetal position. And keeping your eyes closed and using as little effort as possible. Please come up into a comfortable seat facing your monitors. To seal in your practice, please bring your hands to a prayer position at your heart. Guiding the thumb knuckles up and into your sternum. Please take a full breath in. And then open up the mouth, exhale to release. Please join me from one sound of Om. Take a full inhale. Thumb knuckles to third eye center. Thank you for sharing your practices with me today. Go in peace. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. That is it for me for today. Thank you so much for coming to class and practicing with me. My name is Billy. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and do all the things that you do on YouTube. I've got shirts, I've got merch. I'll leave a link in the bio or the description somewhere. And that's it, you guys. Thank you.